Okay, now this video is going to be a little story time. And I know that, there's a lot of you who like to hear about the creepy shit that I do. So I'm going to put this one out there. This is one that I had not posted. And I was reluctant to post it because I didn't know what people would think. But now that I'm a little older and more mature, I really don't give a fuck. So for those of you who really align with Anubis and love fucking channeling and living your truth, walking your fucking path and truly being legit, you will love this fucking story. So, for myself, this was probably when I was about 18 or 19 years old. I had decided to I had this whole fucking goal of just leaving California because I'm born and raised in California. I decided that after high school, I was just gonna fucking leave California and go somewhere. I wanted to travel. That's all I said. I set that shit up to be, traveling and be doing what the fuck I wanted to do. And that's exactly what I ended up doing. But, a lot of dramatic shit happened while I was doing this. Even though all that shit happened, I feel like those entire happenings, that entire timeline of these events molded me into the fucking black soul that I am today. And I'm so fucking grateful for having experiences like this, okay? So this story is gonna take place in Florida, more specifically in Orlando, Florida. So we're in Orlando, Florida. This was a past partner of mine who I don't fuck with anymore. Fuck her, because I really don't like how things, were gone about. It was fucking left on the streets, really. And I'm putting this shit all out there because I live my truth. So basically, we're at this store, and it's a store that is, it's a psychic shop, but it's more of along the lines of being very new age, one of the light workers, per se. And we were speaking about, channeling abilities, evocation. And I started going in depth on my experiences with Anubis, what I have done in the past, and how close I am, my connections with him. They didn't really fully believe that I was someone who was really connected to Anubis. And I went a little further to tell them about unlocking my abilities of utilizing non-human dialect, in which I hesitated to go further into detail about, because I could feel that they were, they were still skeptical, but they were fearful of what could possibly come out of this matter. So, the kind of conversation continues on, and one of the employees comes from the back. This guy's pretty cool. He starts telling me about his deep connections and ties to Horus. Coincidence? I think not. So we go further in depth in speaking about our experiences with these ancients, and we established that we have some similarities in our timelines and our paths, and we start to kind of get into leaving the human dialect and going into non-human. We start going into speaking non-human language, and we both are speaking the same language and connecting on another fucking level. And it was as if the entire room shifted, and Anubis, his presence was to the left side of me. I then started kind of telling them about encountering him, kind of walking the path with him, and a lot of the things that I was learning. This guy was really intrigued. We're going back and forth. The owner steps in and kind of starts to light some incense in there because the energy was pretty heavy. She then starts to talk about, how, she had an experience with, I forgot what beings they were, but they were some extraterrestrial beings. And then she asked me if I had any experiences with any extraterrestrial beings. Now myself, I used to work very, very fucking close with the managed race of extraterrestrials. In fact, I've had in-depth lessons on interdimensional travel utilizing black holes to get to specific planets via light travel. Though, for those of you who understand physics, you'll get exactly what I'm talking about. Literally traveling as light. And as I'm telling this story, there's a mantid that was one of my dominant guys at the time who started to appear. Now this lady started to freak the fuck out, in which I started to try and calm the situation down, because it was a little too late. There was a full manifested, astral presence of a mantid that was present. So Anubis, and we have a mantid here that that fully let their presence be known. This lady started to describe exactly what was behind me to a T, in which the owner, which was the woman who was experiencing these visions and these feelings, lit this incense, walked around me, started saying this chant over me, and then proceeded to completely ban me from this store. Now, I don't even remember what this store was called, but I'm permanently banned. I know that I can never go back there. I remember when we tried to go back and they told me that I'm not even allowed on the property. So it was intense. But I was pretty happy to have an experience like that. It was a very eye-opening experience to give me confirmation as to, let me know that my practices and my studies, everything, it wasn't anything that was for nothing. That all the time and the fucking sacrifices that I was making actually gave me tangible, real fucking results in my magic and in my craft, especially when it came to evocation. So that's the story of how I got banned. It was pretty funny. They even actually gave me a pack of incense to kind of lighten my energy. But I didn't even want to do any of that because I'm so used to being around Anubis. I know what that energy is like. I'm so used to being around the mantis. I knew what that energy was like. I didn't want to lighten up any of the energy. Myself and my girlfriend, we got into an Uber, and we were going to go see, one of our friends who was a very, very, very powerful black magician. We get into this Uber, and we're talking about a client. We're talking about some things that we were experiencing with a client, and how the entire matter was really fucked up in the way that he went about telling both of us separate sides of the story. For me, I picked up on the fact that he was hitting this woman. For my girl, she was told a completely different side of this story. So it was literally when we took both of these sides and put them together that we really understood that this dude was kind of trying to pull the wool over our eyes. He was faking in the matter of telling us the truth to kind of bring this girl forward for his own benefit, in which the spell spoke for itself. We both did what we did, but the spell spoke for itself. Now, when the person who is a target is getting shit cast onto them, and there's someone who isn't knowing, but they are the victim in the matter, the spell really isn't gonna fucking work. There are powers out there that actually are protecting quite a few individuals. Now, for this matter, we did feel like she was one of the easier targets, but it was as if she wasn't deserving of receiving this kind of energy. And we did everything that we could. We've done the same ways. These spells that we were performing were the exact same formulas that we have performed time and time again for results, in which we've gotten very powerful results. In this case, that wasn't what was going on. So I don't want to get too caught up into that, but I just wanted to give a little backstory. We continue communicating about this matter, and the woman in the front decides to fucking chime in on our conversation and to say that I have a very dark presence with me, that I feel too overly masculine, and that I am someone who would be considered dangerous because I could be potentially abusive to her. So she started to tell her to watch out. She started to tell her to watch her back, and that I could snap at any moment. This is how I know that this lady, because she claimed to be someone who was a psychic, that she wasn't truly picking up on what really was around me, on what energy is really around me. Because in no way have I ever been abusive toward her. In no way had I ever brought forward any kind of energy that made it seem as though I was going to hit this woman. Now, I treat her like empress of our empire. She gets everything that she so wishes. I do everything that I possibly fucking can and some to ensure that she is happy and that she is safe, because that's what matters the most. And this woman had the nerve to try and say that that's what she was picking up on and that I needed a cleansing. No. I didn't need a fucking cleansing. It literally is just who I am. This is my energy. This is my presence. That's what I feel like. And if those of you who aren't into, these kind of things or aren't comfortable with these kind of energies, go back to someone else who is more of a lighter nature. Because myself, I use the light, but I more so really love to reside in the dark because it's authentic, it's real. There's no faces, there's no masks of the matter. It's true, real, authentic, and raw fucking psychic ability and power. If you are walking your true path, this is how you should fucking walk every fucking day. It doesn't matter what religion, what fucking family members are gonna outcast you, what you're doing. If you really want to be in control of your reality, fucking take control of it. Walk in your own light. Walk your own path. Ignite the black flame.